Interesting. Alright, that's gonna be really interesting. Kenny, I will give you the option if you want to go first or if you want me to go first.
I'll start us off.
Kenny.
All right. Shall we begin?
Yes.
For my first turn, I'll activate Dragon Shrine. Allowing me to send a dragon type from my deck to the graveyard. Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. And now I activate Dark Worm's effect from my graveyard. Because I control no monsters on my field, I can special summon it. And now Dark Worm's effect. When it's normal or special summon, I can add a Supreme King Gate monster from my deck to hand. And I choose to add Supreme King Gate Magician. I'll activate Odd Eye's Arc Pendulum Dragon. And now I'll activate Supreme King Gate Magician. Supreme King Gate Magician's Pendulum effect. I'll destroy it and place a Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster from my deck to the zone. So its replacement will now be Supreme King Gate 0. Pendulum Summon. Supreme King Gate Magician, Odd Eye's Arc Pendulum Dragon, and Perform Power Odd Eye's Butler.
Interesting.
Supreme King Gate Magician effect. If I have a Supreme King Gate card in my Pendulum Zone, or rather, if this card is special summon, I can add a card that mentions the Supreme King's Arc from my deck to my hand other than the spellcaster. And the card I'm choosing to add is Soul of the Supreme Celestial King, since it mentions Supreme King's Arc. Now, I'll set one card face down. And now I'll use Supreme King Gate Magician's other effect. If I have a Supreme King Gate card in my Pendulum Zone other than itself, I can send a Pendulum Dragon, Xyz Dragon, Synchro Dragon, or Fusion Dragon from my deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Oh no. Now that's definitely from the other effect. So yeah. I'm still learning some of these cards, but like...
They're good.
Yeah. Now then. I'll activate my second Perform Power Odd Eye's Butler's effect from hand. If I control Performer Pal or Odd Eye's monster card other than itself, I can special summon it, then I'll destroy the card. And because an Ice card on my field was destroyed, Ice Arc Pendulum Dragon's effect activates. Now I special summon Perform a Power Ice Dissolver. Now I'll activate Dissolver's effect, infuse it with Ice Arc Pendulum Dragon in my Pendulum Zone. And I special summon Ice Vortex Dragon. With that, I'll end my turn.
Alright. Well, we'll start with the spell card Future Fusion.
Alright.
The card name I declare is Cyber End Dragon. So I have to send 3 Cyber Dragons to the graveyard. And if you do not get rid of the card by next turn, Cyber End Dragon comes out. So
Okay.
there's 1. There's 2. Maybe. And there's 3. Shuffle real quick. Because I looked through about half of my deck so I could. So now I know what half of my cards are. And to show proof, there's 3 Cyber Dragons.
Yep.
And I will put Cyber End Dragon right on top. Then I'll summon his Cyber Larva in defense mode. His ability is that if he's destroyed, I take no battle damage, and then once he is destroyed, I can special another one from the deck.
Alright.
What's your monster's attacks? Just curious.
Supreme King Gate Magician is at 2,500. Dark Worm is at 1,800. And then my 3 other monsters are in defense position.
Nah, I ain't gonna risk that. Remove.
During your end phase, I'll reveal my trap card, Soul of the Supreme Celestial King. I contribute a spellcaster pendulum monster with 2,500 original attack points, and fusion summon Supreme King Zarg from my extra deck by banishing fusion materials mentioned on it from my hand, deck, extra deck, field, and or graveyard. So then, banish, 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 and banish to special summon Supreme King Zarg. And since it has the specific materials banished, its effects are not negated on summon. Therefore, when Supreme King Zark is fusion summoned, all cards you currently control in your field are destroyed.
Okay. So then that one does not activate, so Cyber Dragon does not come out next turn.
Alright.
I don't know if the fusion monster goes to the graveyard. No, it doesn't because it didn't get summoned.
Now it's my turn. I draw. Now then. I'll switch my 2 butlers and Ice Vortex Dragon to attack position. Now I'll link one of my butlers with Dark Worm to link summon Beyond the Pendulum. Effect on link summon. I pay 1,200 life points to add a pendulum monster from my deck to hand. And I choose Performer Pal Celestial Magician. Now I'll activate Performer Pal Celestial Magician. Now, I Pendulum Summon Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. Now I'll link Beyond the Pendulum with my other Performer Pal Odd Eyes Butler. Now I link Summon Exceed the Pendulum. If this card is linked summon, I can add a face-up pendulum monster from my extra deck to my hand. And I'll add back Performer Pal Odd Eyes Dissolver. Now during the main phase, quick effect, I can special summon a pendulum monster from my hand or graveyard in defense position with a level between the two pendulum scales. And I'll choose Supreme King Gate Magician. Now, I'll link Exceed the Pendulum, treating it as 3 with Supreme King Gate Magician. No. I'll do that with Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon instead. For Mech Knight Crusader Avramax. Reason being, because Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon was special summoned from my extra deck. Now for the battle phase.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alright, proceed.
Alright. Now, battle phase. First, Supreme King's Arc, direct attack. Maximum lightning.
And what's his attack?
4,000.
Jesus. Alright.
Now Supreme King Gate Magician, direct attack for 2,500.
Alright.
With this, it's game over. Mech Knight Crusader Avramax, direct attack for 3,000.
Alright. What would I have gotten next time? Oh, it wouldn't have mattered.
I was worried my Supreme King Eyes build wouldn't be too effective, but I lucked out.
Yeah, well, you also faced my machines instead of my pendulums, but it's okay. It was still a good duel, though.
Thanks. Alright.
Okay. And then as the loser, I will go first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. If that's okay with you.
Yep.
I will set the pendulum scale with Dragon Pit Magician and DD Griffin, which is 1 to 8. I will summon Performical Silverclaw in attack mode. And with that, I'll end my turn.
Alright. I draw. Hmm. Now then, I activate Foolish Burial, allowing me to send a monster from my deck to the graveyard. Response?
No.
Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. Next, I'll activate Darkworm's effect from my graveyard. Special Summon. Darkworm's effect on summon. I can add a Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster from my deck to hand. And Supreme King Gate Magician. Now I activate Supreme King Gate Magician on my leftmost Pendulum Zone to activate their Pendulum effect, destroy itself, and put a new Supreme King Gate Pendulum monster in its place. Supreme King Gate 0. Activated. Now, set one card face down. And normal summon Performapal Skullcrobat Joker. Effect on normal summon. I can add Performapal, Magician Pendulum monster, or an Allied monster from my deck to my hand, other than itself. And I'll choose to add Odd Eyes Archpendulum Dragon. Next, I'll link Darkworm with my Joker to link summon Beyond the Pendulum. Beyond the Pendulum's link summon effect. I pay 1,200 life points to search for a Pendulum monster and add it to my hand. Supreme King Dragon Lightworm. Now, I'll activate Odd Eyes Archpendulum Dragon on the scale. Now, I Pendulum Summon Supreme King Gate Magician, Supreme King Dragon Lightworm from my hand, and Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon from my hand. With Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon, I can either Ritual or Pendulum Summon this card from my hand. And now Beyond the Pendulum's effect activates. If I Pendulum Summon two monsters with different levels on zones this card points to, I can target the two cards on the field and destroy them. So what's on your board, Kameron?
Performable Silverclaw and my two pendulums.
All right. Silverclaw and your rightmost pendulum scale.
That would be DD, and since they were destroy the other the extra deck, which again did not know that until.
Yep. Next, I'll link summon using Beyond the Pendulum and Supreme King Dragon Lightworm to link summon Exceed the Pendulum. Now, effect on link summon. I can add a face of pendulum monster from my extra deck to my hand. Welcome back, Lightworm. Lightworm. Alright. Now, I'll activate Performapal Odd Eyes Butler's effect from my hand. Because there's an ice monster on the field, I'll special summon it from my hand and destroy Pendulum Graph Dragon. Now, because an ice monster on my field is destroyed, Auto-Ice Arc Pendulum Dragon's effect activates. And now I special summon Performapal Auto-Ice Dissolver in defense position. Now I'll use Dissolver's effect to fuse it with Auto-Ice Arc Pendulum Dragon from my scale. I fusion summon Auto-Ice Vortex Dragon in attack position. Now I'll activate Supreme King Dragon Lightworm from my hand. Alright then. Battle phase. Exceed the pendulum. Direct attack for 2,000. Supreme King Gate Magician, 2,500. Now Auto-Ice Vortex Dragon. Direct attack for 2,500.
Okay.
I'll end my turn with this.
Well, the most I can do is set the scale again with the Grapher, DD Griffin, sorry. And then bring out both of them with the pendulum scale. Because that's 8. And then, actually, I'll just bring out Performable Silverclaw. And then normal summon Performable Keflump.
Alright.
And with his, when he is summoned all Performable monsters, I have gained 300 attack. And I'll actually put Camel up in defense mode, my bad.
Alright.
Well, that's all I can do this turn.
Now I'll activate this trap card during your end phase. Soul of the Supreme Celestial King. I tribute Supreme King Gate Magician, and now I'll banish the necessary materials. Auto-Ice Arc Pendulum Dragon. Starving Venom Predator Power Fusion Dragon. Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. And Auto-Ice Rebellion Xyz Dragon. To bring out Supreme King Zark. And now, effect on its summoning, all cards you currently control in your field are destroyed.
Which I'll go to the extra.
Now it's my turn. I draw. As a parting gift, I'll show you a little present. I activate my continuous spell, Pendulum Evolution.
What does that do?
I can shuffle a pendulum monster from my hand into the deck and add a pendulum monster with 2,500 attack points and a different name from my deck to my hand. Also, during my main phase, if I happen to special summon a pendulum monster from the face down extra deck this turn, I can resolve this other effect. Pendulum summon a monster. In other words, I can do an additional pendulum summoning on top of my usual one. Immediately after said effect will resolve, after that, I can target a Supreme King Zark that I control this turn, and it can attack all monsters that my opponent currently controls once each. And each effect of Pendulum Evolution can only be activated once per turn.
Good thing I don't have any monsters.
And now Supreme King Zark, Maximum Lightning.
And that is the end of the duel because I was only at 1,000 life points.
Yep.
Kenny, has anyone told you you're a dick? I'm just kidding.
Sometimes. But definitely not. I doubt most of it was through pendulums, though.
Normally I'd be like kicking ass by now, but my deck was not wanting to cooperate this time around.
Well, that was definitely a good test run for me.
Oh, so I was the guinea pig. Got it. I'm just kidding.
Well, you probably would have done the same. But still.
I mean, Mike's usually my guinea pig.
Fair enough. Thank you for the duel.
You're welcome.